Microdema here. Be a warrior, not a warrior. The next spiritual gift on our list tonight is exhortation. The definition is the ability to verbally comfort, encourage, reassure, and steady those members who may be suffering or immature or troubled and doubting. Exhorters are people that typically have a high emotional intelligence. They are also very good listeners. They spend a lot of time just helping others express themselves, and typically one-on-one, and so that they can get out, issues with trauma, bad experiences in their past, all of these other things. They obviously they're not going to be people who are gossips. They are people who care deeply about the other members of the church body, and the pastors are either have that gift themselves. Either their spouse might have that gift and be able to spend time with people in that role, but they can also be just individuals within the church body that just enjoy spending time with other people and helping them. Perhaps they don't have the ability to do a different role within the church, but they can be a listener. They can be someone that people go to listen to their problems, and they'll even give them good advice at times. The Lord gives exhorters the words to speak, typically, in different situations where it's needed. And then the Holy Spirit can come into them and use them in that manner. I had an instance where someone had lost a place to live, and they stayed with me for a while on my couch a long time ago. This individual really was in a difficult spot, and I remember praying for them, and then the next day I sat down with them, and the Lord just gave me the words to speak, to comfort and give them instruction at the same time. And I remember, I don't remember exactly what I said, I wish I did, but we both looked at each other after I was finished speaking, and we both were just like, wow, that was amazing advice. Both of us said it at the same time to each other. And I realized at that moment, it was definitely God that had spoken through me, not myself. And the other person recognized that as well, because it wasn't something that I would normally say. And they were just amazed by it. Of course, they actually got saved and became a Christian later, had a great family, and, went to do many great things. But now I'm not saying that exhortation is one of my gifts, particularly. I'm not sure it is, though I have played that role before from time to time. If you have the Holy Spirit in you, you can be an exhorter. This is one of those gifts that anybody can do if you pray for the gift. But there are also people that they function as an exhorter. And by that I mean there are counselors. These are people that either do it as a profession and they also do it volunteer in the church, or maybe they work for the church as a counselor. I assisted a young woman with getting, helping her fund a trip so she could go and move to a large church where they were doing this type of program. And she was very successful at it. She was very good at it. And you can also just be an individual that is, just used to doing this in your regular life, and you bring that experience to the church. Many people I know that our exhorters do it not only all the time, but like they do it from home. God will send people to them to comfort and help with their words and with prayer. Sometimes they also get called out and go to visit other people, in different settings. So exhortation is important because it's this role that sometimes the pastor doesn't have time to do. Sometimes they do it themselves and they're running all over the place with helping people heal their hurts. But essentially, it is a healing ministry. It's maybe not a physical healing ministry, but it certainly is a mental and emotional healing that is going on when the Holy Spirit uses people with the gift of exhortation to guide people down the right path after having gone through a period of trauma or problems that are very difficult for them to deal with, understand, or overcome. So the exhorter helps them, gives them those tools, but they're also, like I said earlier, they're that listening ear that is willing to, kind of absorb in an empathetic way the needs of this other person or their issues. So if you're going to be an exhorter, if you believe you have that gift, you can make yourself available to a pastor and let them know that you can be available to counsel people or to help them at any time. The pastor may take you up on that offer, so be prepared and be prayed up, especially if you're at a larger church. The pastor's wife can be an exhorter and assist their husband, and vice versa. If it's a female pastor, the husband can be an exhorter who helps men overcome their problems. The female, the pastor, if they're a male, their wife can help him with counseling women. This is one of the reasons why it is important that that men and a man or a woman who is a pastor have a spouse, because typically they're not going to be able to counsel the opposite sex very effectively because our experiences are very different. So it's always good to have a spouse that is, has a degree of emotional intelligence and is willing to spend time with the people of the opposite sex within the church who need help and need someone to listen to, especially when you're just starting off. The church I'm serving in at the moment, the pastor and his wife are excellent at this. They're very, very good. And thankfully, I've been at most of the churches I've served at that it was a similar situation. When I was a new Christian, I was not very good at this type of thing. It's really just been a few experiences with the Holy Spirit coming through me to help people in times of, desperate need. And God fulfilled me, used me in that role. But most of the time, I'm the guy who's kind of quiet in the background, doing other things as an apostle type of figure. But there are, like I said, there are times that when it is necessary to ask God for help to counsel someone when there isn't someone else available. So if you have the Holy Spirit in you, you can do this. It's something that God can use you for. You don't have to specialize in this gift to have it. But it is also, you have the advantage if you have a history of helping people in this manner. And that experience will assist you, to more effortlessly guide people in the right direction and help them overcome their problems. So it says, studying those members who may be suffering or immature or troubled and doubting. So immaturity is something that is kind of rampant now. And exhorters can engage this immaturity in a loving way, which is not easy to do for most people. They're the calming voice in a group of immature people or towards an immature person when they go out of line. And they are a voice that is respected. They're a voice that is honored because of the peace that the Holy Spirit carries within them. People listen, and they don't want to offend this individual because they know they're a person of peace. It comes through exhorters, even more so than other people with other gifts. And it's visible, it's tangible. So exhorters have that peaceful spirit that they bring to a situation. Troubled and doubting, these are people that are struggling with their faith. And exhorters are easy, the real exhorters can see this on people, probably even easier than others can. They can tell when someone is in trouble. The Holy Spirit can guide them towards people that need assistance or need a friend. Again, just like previous gifts, the exhorters need to work on their boundaries typically. Exhorters can very easily fall into situations where the people that they're listening to or spending time with maybe want too much out of them or too much of their time. So it's very important to use wisdom and pray for wisdom in dealing with every individual and set correct boundaries right from the beginning with anyone that you're trying to help or spend time with or raise up within the church. That goes with several of these roles, though, as well, several of these gifts. So if you want to be an exhorter, pray to God that he reveal to you who's in need within the church body and who he can use you to help. All right. Remember, being an exhorter does not mean spending money on someone. Okay. If you want to do that, you can, but ask God first. Okay. That's not what you're there for. You're there to comfort. You're there to encourage. You're there to reassure and steady people. Stand with them, help them stand. And remember, the goal is to help people stand so that they can be the person who helps others stand. Okay, that they're the one. You're raising them up so they can be the person that helps others. Okay, that's the goal. All right. All right, and that's it for this video. Check out the links in the description. Thank you for joining me, and God bless.